Welcome back, students. In the reproduction in organisms unit second part, so far we have seen about the vegetative propagation in stem, how vegetative propagation can be done with stem. The next we will continue with vegetative propagation with roots. So the second part, root acting as vegetative propagule. Example for root acting as vegetative propagule is sweet potato. The botanical name is Ipomia batata. Here they have buds that are formed. So since buds are formed on roots, they are called as radical buds, and these radical buds can be used to give rise to a new plant. And one more example which is going to produce radical buds is Dalbergia seiso. Dalbergia seiso, which is commonly called as the sesame wood. This also produces the radical buds through which it can be propagated. So this is vegetative propagation with help of roots. The next is vegetative propagation with leaves. Vegetative propagation with leaves is seen in plants like Bryophyllum, Bignonia, Kalanchoe, etc. There are many other plants also. We will study these three examples. All these three, they are going to produce leaves which are going to be fleshy. They have fleshy leaves, and the leaf margins are going to produce buds. And since buds are formed on the leaf, the buds are called as foliar buds. And these buds can grow into, that is when they fall off, when they reach the soil, they can develop the roots and branches, so they can grow into the complete plant. So when it is the foliar buds that are formed are usually formed like notches, அதாவது ஒரு சின்ன முடிச்சு மாதிரி வந்துட்டு they'll form on the leaf tip, in the leaf margin. In the leaf margin la vandu, when this part alone is put into soil, they can develop the root as well as the shoot system. So these leaves, these buds are called as the foliar buds. So this is vegetative propagation with roots and leaves. So this is about natural type of vegetative propagation. And there are some artificial methods that are used by persons, humans generally, for vegetative propagation of plants. The first method of artificial vegetative propagation is cutting. So here what they do is they are going to cut the stem between two nodes, and the cut is going to be usually an angular cut, that is a slanting cut is made. And this is going to, for why is this angular cut is made is because when it is put into soil, that is when it is planted, when that cut stem portion is planted into soil, there can be maximum area that is exposed to soil. So such type of vegetative propagation we call it as cutting. And the best example that is seen is in sugarcane. So in sugarcane, usually a stem portion, a cut stem portion, if this is the sugarcane, and these are the nodes which can be clearly seen in case of sugarcane. When a cut is made, between, so these are nodes, and a cut is made between like this. So it is an angular cut. As we know, a cut is made like this. So the node region, so the cut is made such that it has a single node and a part of the internode also. When this is put into soil like this, usually the node region has to be put into soil so that the roots arise from the nodal region and then the stem starts growing upwards. So this is done in sugarcane. The next method of artificial vegetative propagation is layering. லேயரிங்கில் வந்துட்டு ரெண்டு டைப் இருக்குது. ஒன் இஸ் கால்ட் ஆஸ் கிரவுண்ட் லேயரிங் and the other type is called as air layering. கிரவுண்ட் லேயரிங்கில் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னா, யூஸ்வலாக ஒரு ஸ்டெம் பார்ட் ஆஃப் த பிளான்ட்டை வந்துட்டு they are going to bend it and put it into the soil. Bend it into the soil, and the complete bend region usually would contain the nodes. So the nodes are given time so that the roots are developed from it, and from both the ends they are going to cut out that bent region and take it out. For example, if this is a plant, so it is going to have many branches like this. One of the long branch would be selected such that it is, so if this is the soil surface, one of the long branch is selected, and with many nodes it is bent into soil and it is left like this. So it is fully, this region is fully buried into the soil. So it is going to have many nodes in this part. So what would happen is, the plants, few plants, they tend to form roots in this part and the branches from their aerial part. So they develop roots on their under surface and branches on their upper surface. Later this branch is going to be cut in this region. This is taken out along with the soil, planted in some other place. So this is called as ground layering. Example of ground layering is jasmine. So இது ரொம்ப சிம்பிளாக வந்துட்டு they'll do this type of ground layering. அண்ட் ஏர் லேயரிங் வந்துட்டு இட் இஸ் மோர் ஆர் லெஸ் சிமிலர். ஆனால் இங்கே வந்துட்டு எந்த பிளான்ஸில் வந்துட்டு ஏர் லேயரிங் பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னா, இஃப் சப்போஸ் இங்கே ஸ்டெம் வந்துட்டு ஃப்ளெக்சிபிளாக இருக்கிறதுனால தே பெண்ட் இட் இன் டு த சாயில். இஃப் சப்போஸ் த பிளான்ட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி லார்ஜர், அந்த ஸ்டெம் வந்துட்டு இஃப் இட் இஸ் வி ஆர் நாட் ஏபிள் டு பெண்ட் தட் பிரான்ச், அப்போ பிரான்ச் வந்துட்டு ரொம்ப ஸ்டவுட்டாக ஸ்ட்ராங்காக இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா அதை பெண்ட் பண்ண முடியாது. அந்த கண்டிஷனில் வந்துட்டு தே ஆர் கோயிங் டு டூ ஃபார் they go for air layering. So it is done for plants with strong rigid stem. So for this plants என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னா, the outer layer of the branch is removed and this portion is going to be covered with soil and then with funaria. Funaria எதுக்காக அப்படின்னா, to absorb moisture from air. ஏன்னா நம்ம வந்துட்டு இதில் ஏர் லெவலில் தான் செய்ய போகிறோம். தட் இஸ் இட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி இந்த ஹையர் பிளான்ட்ஸ், லார்ஜர் பிளான்ட்ஸ். ஸோ நம்ம வந்துட்டு இங்கே சர்ஃபேஸ் ஆஃப் சாயிலில் இருந்துச்சுன்னா வாட்டர் அப்சார்ப்ஷன் கேன் பி டைரக்ட். ஆனால் இங்கே வந்துட்டு வாட்டர் அப்சார்ப்ஷன் டைரெக்டாக நடக்க முடியாது. ஏன்னா நம்ம சாயில் வச்சு கவர் பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னா, ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இஃப் திஸ் இஸ் அ பிளான்ட் and it has one of its branch here, what they do is they are going to remove off this portion. So இந்த portion first வந்துட்டு remove பண்ணுவாங்க. So when such a portion is removed, what happens is the thickness of the stem வந்துட்டு goes inside such that only their vascular bundles are exposed. இப்போ they are going to cover it this layer with soil first. இப்போ சாயில் வச்சுட்டு கவர் பண்ணிவிடுவாங்க. எதுக்காக அப்படின்னா ரூட் ஃபார்மேஷனை இன்டியூஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்காக சாயில் வச்சு கவர் பண்ணிடுவாங்க. மேலே வந்துட்டு இதுக்கு மேலே வந்துட்டு ஃபியூனேரியா வச்சு டைப் பண்ணுவாங்க. எதுக்காகனா அப்படின்னா இது வந்துட்டு இட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி நாட் இன் தி கிரவுண்ட் லெவல், இட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பி இன் தி ஏர். ஸோ ஏரில் இருந்து மாய்ஸ்சர் அப்சர்வ் பண்ணி அந்த சாயில்குள்ளே கொடுத்து இங்கே வந்துட்டு ரூட் ஃபார்மேஷன் இன்டியூஸ் பண்ணும். ஸோ ஒன்ஸ் ரூட் அண்ட் ஏரியல் branches are formed, this portion is cut and this part along with soil வந்துட்டு will be planted. Such type of layering வந்துட்டு is called as air layering. Example for air layering is mango and guava. And one more type of vegetative propagation, artificial vegetative propagation, is called as micro propagation, also called or commonly called as the plant tissue culture. So here what they do is they are going to take only a plant tissue, and this tissue is induced under lab conditions. So they are going to provide artificial media for growth, which is going to be rich in all nutrients that a plant need, artificial media as well as the plant hormones. So what they are doing is they are going to induce under lab conditions for root and shoot formation. So once root and shoot formation is done, it is transferred to soil for further growth. And you will be studying in detail about this micropropagation of plant tissue culture in future units. The next part of the microbes in human welfare unit la vandute nama idha detail ah padipom. We will study the details of plant tissue culture there, but plant tissue culture is a type of vegetative, artificial vegetative propagation seen and done in plants. So whenever vegetative propagation is done, one thing we have to remember is the offspring that is going to be formed is genetically identical to the parent, because a single parent is involved here, so it is going to be genetically identical to the parent. And there is one more method in which the offspring is going to become genetically different from the parent but does not involve any sexual reproduction. That method is called as grafting. So this is not involving any sexual parts, but the offspring is going to be genetically different from the parent. So how is this grafting done? Grafting வந்துட்டு usually when it is done in animals, it is called as transplantation. We take an organ from one animal, place it in another, one from one person to another person. அந்த மாதிரி தான் நம்ம grafting சொல்லுவோம். It is more or less here called as the same, it gives the same meaning. Grafting வந்துட்டு அதே meaning தான். And the offspring that is formed from grafting is called as a hybrid, commonly called as a hybrid. இங்கே என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னா root will be taken from one plant and the shoot part will be taken from another plant, and they would be tied with each other such that and the rendu vandu they combine to form a new plant which is called as the hybrid. The root part that is taken from a plant would be technically called as the stalk, and the shoot that is taken from the plant would be technically called as the scion. So what they are going to do is they take a stalk and scion, and இந்த ரெண்டையும் வந்துட்டு they'll tie it with funaria covering. again இங்கே ஃபினேரியாவோட ஒர்க் வந்துட்டு absorption of moisture, and they will be allowed for some time. இந்த tying conditionலேயே வந்துட்டு they will be giving time, ஒரு short period of time interval is given. இந்த time interval எதுக்காக அப்படின்னா the vascular bundles, that is the xylem and phloem of stalk and scion to fuse, so that stalk வந்துட்டு it is going to take the water from soil and give, and scion வந்துட்டு with its leaves it can produce food and transfer it to the stalk also. So ரெண்டும் வந்துட்டு fuse ஆக வரைக்கும் வந்துட்டு they will give a time period that it will be tightly sealed, those regions. And there are different types of grafting. The most common type of grafting is called as tongue grafting. Tongue grafting வந்துட்டு it is done when the stalk and scion is of same diameter. So when it is of same diameter, it is called as tongue grafting. So what they do is they take a stalk and a scion. So stalk is going to be the part that is going to contribute the root. So this is going to be the stalk, and this is going to be the stem part of another plant, and they would be tied, sealed tightly with funaria. So this is stalk and stem. Because they have these sharp edges, they are cut in such a manner, they are called as the tongue grafting. The second type of grafting that is commonly done, it is called as wedge grafting. Wedge grafting, it is done when the diameter of stalk is more than that of scion. In such conditions, wedge grafting is done. So when it is like this, that is when the stalk is going to be a little wider. So if this is going to be the stalk, whereas the scion is going to be thinner compared to the stalk. So this produces the root. So this is going to be the stalk, and if the scion is going to be thinner, so diameter wise வந்துட்டு stalk வந்துட்டு is going to be bigger. In that case, what they do is they make a cut in the stalk such that their vascular bundles are being cut, and the cut made is similar to the shape of the cut in the stalk, and this stalk would be now inserted into this cut that is made on the stalk. So this part is going to be the scion, and this region is going to be fused, tied, or it is going to be sealed with funaria until the vascular bundles are going to be fused. And I forgot to say you the examples. The example for wedge grafting is commonly done in citrus fruits, most common in lemon. And in case of tongue grafting, the most common example for tongue grafting is going to be rose. So with this we have completed the asexual methods of reproduction seen in plants, and asexual methods of reproduction in animals வந்துட்டு lower animalsல மட்டும்தான், அதாவது invertebrates-ல சில animals and protozoans, animal like protists இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதில் மட்டும்தான் வந்துட்டு asexual method of reproduction is most common, whereas higher plants, higher invertebrates ஆகட்டும் இல்லை vertebrates ஆகட்டும், they mostly take up only sexual method of reproduction. So the most common method of reproduction in case of animals is going to be sexual method of reproduction, whereas in plants both is seen, that is sexual as well as asexual reproduction is seen. And we have seen some basic characteristic of sexual reproduction. நம்ம difference எழுதணும் இல்லையா sexual and asexual reproduction க்கு அதில் நம்ம வந்துட்டு basic differences எழுதியிருக்கோம். that is sexual reproductionல வந்துட்டு there is formation of gametes, fusion of gametes, formation of zygote, and that zygote is going to undergo divisions to form the complete organisms. And the basic methods of cell division, meiosis and mitosis will be seen because there is gamete formation. இந்த differences எல்லாம் வந்துட்டு நம்ம sexual asexual reproductionலயே பார்த்துட்டோம், difference படிக்கும்போது பார்த்துட்டோம். So these are the basic characteristics of sexual reproduction. And we have to see some features common for organisms that reproduce sexually. So they would have some common characteristic. அதாவது வந்துட்டு பார்க்கறதுக்கு வந்துட்டு we say it is a plant, we say it is an animal. ஆனால் பிளான்ட்டாக இருந்துட்டாலும் அனிமலாக இருந்துட்டாலும் அது செக்ஷுவலாக ரீப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுது அப்படின்னா they will have some common characteristics. அந்த characteristics மட்டும் என்னென்னு பார்த்துக்கலாம். So first feature is reproduction occurs only after the juvenile phase. So juvenile phase of life cycle la vandittu there is no reproduction because only vegetative structures of that plant or animal is going to grow. This phase is also called as vegetative phase. So vegetative phase complete ஆனா மட்டும் தான் வந்துட்டு the organisms will reproduce. And one more is end of juvenile phase and the start of reproductive phase. இந்த டைமில் வந்துட்டு அதாவது ஜுவனைல் ஃபேஸ் எண்ட் ஆகிட்டு ரீப்ரொடக்டிவ் ஃபேஸ் ஆஃப் லைஃப் சைக்கிள் வந்துட்டு ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும்போது வந்துட்டு தி ஆர்கானிசம்ஸ் ஷோ some morphological and physiological changes within in their body. Physiological changes in their body. For example, plants அப்படின்னு நம்ம கன்சிடர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா their morphological physiological changes என்னன்னா flowering. So only for reproduction they are going to show flowering. In case of animals, இப்போ animalsல வந்துட்டு there are different types. The most common we'll consider about the mammals. Mammals-ல வந்துட்டு there are two different types of changes seen. ஒன்று வந்துட்டு non-primate mammals. Non-primate mammals வந்துட்டு they show oestrus cycle. And primate mammals they show menstrual cycle. So எதெல்லாம் primate mammals அப்படின்னா primate mammals include only apes, monkeys and humans. Other all mammals வந்துட்டு they are going to be non-primate mammals. So non-primate mammals வந்துட்டு என்னென்ன animals எல்லாம் நம்ம mammals-னு படிச்சிருக்கிறோமோ all those are going to be non-primate except humans, monkeys and apes. These are primate mammals. Commonly these are called as placental mammals. Reason வந்துட்டு they are going to form a structure called placenta during reproduction part. அதனால் வந்துட்டு they are called as placental mammals. So these animals, the change seen in them at the end of juvenile phase and start of reproductive phase. And the next common feature is the loss of reproducing capacity in plants or animals starts the aging process or the senescent phase, the next phase of their life cycle. So starts the senescent phase or aging. So aging illati senescent phase la or organism irukku, adu plant ah irundalo animal ah irundalo irukku appadina, they do not have their reproducing capacity, they have lost their reproducing capacity in artham. The next common feature is their control for transfer between juvenile phase, reproductive phase and senescent phase. In the transition between phases vandittu is under the control of hormones for both plants as well as animals. And one more common feature is the events that is taking place during the sexual reproduction. Events of sexual reproduction is also going to be common. First is the pre-fertilization events. So first stage is going to be pre-fertilization events. Pre-fertilization events involves gametogenesis, that is formation of gametes and transfer of gametes. So any organism that is going to reproduce sexually, the first step is going to be pre-fertilization event, which involves gametogenesis and gamete transfer. The second stage is going to be fertilization, and the third stage is going to be post-fertilization events. So all these 5 characteristics are going to be common for any organism that is going to reproduce sexually. அது எதுவாக இருந்துட்டாலும் சரி, if it is fungi, plants, animals, எதுவாக இருந்துட்டாலும் வந்துட்டு the common features that is going to be present in the life cycle of any organism that is going to reproduce sexually is this 5 characteristics.